It started as a simple water agreement, just ink on paper. But today, that same agreement holds decades of history, trust, and tension between two neighbors separated by a narrow causeway. For Malaysia, the story of water isn't just about supply, it's about sovereignty, pride, and progress. Long before skyscrapers rose in Singapore, the rivers of Johor were already flowing strong. Malaysia's natural landscape has always been rich with water, the kind of resource that gives life to farms, homes, and industries. But that same blessing became a bridge that connected two nations. Back in 1962, an agreement was signed. Malaysia would provide raw water to Singapore at a fixed rate, and in return, Singapore would treat part of it and sell it back. It sounded fair. It worked for years. But as the decades passed, the world changed, and so did the meaning of that deal. For Malaysia, many began to question, was the price fair anymore? Was it right that water, a resource from its own rivers, flowed out every day for just a few cents? The debate grew louder, and the issue became more than numbers. It became a matter of national pride. Singapore, on the other side, saw it differently. They viewed the deal as sacred, something that had kept peace and progress between both nations. And while Malaysia had the rivers, Singapore had the technology. Both needed each other, and that balance shaped Southeast Asia's story. But Malaysia was changing fast. Its population grew, its industries expanded, and cities like Johor Bahru began to demand more water for themselves. Every year, the stress on local resources became heavier, and voices grew louder. Why send so much away when our own people might need it more? This question sparked one of the most sensitive discussions in Malaysia's modern history. Politicians, citizens, and environmentalists all had different views. Some saw the water deal as outdated, others saw it as a lesson in diplomacy that should be respected until its final year in 2061. Yet deep down, Malaysians understood something larger: water is not just an economic resource. It's a symbol of independence, and it represents the nation's ability to stand on its own feet. Every drop from Johor's rivers tells a story of self-reliance and natural abundance. Over time, Malaysia began investing more in its own water infrastructure. From new dams to treatment plants, efforts grew to make sure every state could provide clean, reliable water for its people. It wasn't easy, but it showed determination, a quiet message that Malaysia was building its own future. And while Singapore was busy creating any water and desalination plants, Malaysia focused on protecting and restoring its natural water sources. Rivers became the heart of sustainability campaigns, schools taught children about conservation, and local communities worked to clean polluted streams. And while Singapore was busy creating any water and desalination plants, Malaysia focused on protecting and restoring its natural water sources. Rivers became the heart of sustainability campaigns, schools taught children about conservation, and local communities worked to clean polluted streams. The bond between both nations, however, never disappeared. Despite political debates, the water still flowed every single day, proof that cooperation can survive even when opinions clash. It showed that interdependence isn't weakness, it's reality. But imagine a day when the water stops. A day when Malaysia decides it's time to use its rivers only for its own people. The world would watch closely. Would Singapore's systems hold up? Would Malaysia be seen as reclaiming control or starting a crisis? That question keeps the story alive. It's not about anger, but about evolution. Malaysia has grown stronger, more capable, and more confident in managing its resources. The country that once relied on others is now shaping its own destiny drop by drop. For many Malaysians, the debate isn't about cutting ties, it's about fairness and respect. After all, water belongs to nature, not politics. And while one side built pipelines, the other side built the patience to wait for its moment to redefine the future. There's pride in knowing that Malaysia's rivers have powered two nations' growth. They've been the silent force behind cities, industries, and homes that shine today. But now, people are asking, shouldn't that same force be used first to secure Malaysia's tomorrow? Each passing year brings the world closer to 2061, when the agreement will expire. And as that date approaches, discussions grow stronger, not in hostility, but in hope. Hope that a new kind of partnership can be built, one based on equality and sustainability. Water may seem simple, but it carries emotions, memories, and identity. In Malaysia, it's part of the land's soul, from the rainforests of Pahang to the rivers of Johor. Every stream reminds people of their connection to the earth and to each other. So, when the conversation about Singapore's dependence on Malaysia arises, Malaysians see it through a wider lens. It's not just a contract, it's history. A story that shows how two nations learned, argued, cooperated, and grew side by side. And if one day the pipelines fall silent, the rivers will still flow. Malaysia will still have its strength, its natural beauty, and its ability to stand tall in the face of change. Because this story was never only about supplying water, it was about defining independence. So Malaysia continues to strengthen its relationship with water, not just through policies, but through people. Farmers in Kedah, fishermen in Terengganu, and families in Johor all share the same belief that water is life. It connects the cities to the villages, the coast to the highlands. It is part of Malaysia's rhythm. Across the country, awareness programs teach citizens to conserve and protect their waterways. Schools organize river cleanups, and young Malaysians grow up knowing that the future depends on what flows through their streams today. This cultural respect for nature runs deep. It's not just about economy, it's about identity. And as Malaysia modernizes, it's finding a new balance between development and preservation. Skyscrapers may rise, but rivers still matter. Hydroelectric projects, improved sewage systems, and sustainable water treatment plants all show a country ready to grow responsibly. At the same time, dialogue with Singapore continues quietly behind the scenes. Both nations know how much history lies within their shared pipeline. It's not about ending cooperation, it's about redefining it for a new era. A relationship once based on dependence can evolve into one based on equality and innovation. Many Malaysians believe that this new phase doesn't need tension. Instead, it can become a partnership of mutual respect, where Malaysia's natural resources and Singapore's technology meet halfway. Together, they could create something even more powerful, a regional model for water security in Southeast Asia. Because in the end, no border can truly divide rivers. Nature doesn't follow politics. What flows between Malaysia and Singapore isn't just water, it's history, collaboration, and shared responsibility.